Shalom, Pastor coming back at you with this truth, giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Mukakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, Jake Doesn't Get It. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's countless videos up on YouTube with the whole Hebrew Israelite, you know, the different groups out there, mainly from One West. These other groups that are out there that never been a part of One West couldn't point the One West school on the map, but they followed us, the former One Westers, in one way or another. Either they joined one of the camps of one of the former One Westers, as vocab puts it, but then you have others that they'll watch videos and they'll kind of come up with their own, you know, their own take on the scriptures, and then a lot of them get so high and mighty that they're basically telling you that you're going off and that the Lord is dealing with them, but they would never have done this had they not seen our videos. When I say our videos, I'm saying, you know, us formerly of One West. Anyway, this is the video. Like I said, I'm not going to make this long, but the Spirit may let it go long, but let's see where the Spirit takes me. There's a video called by Joyner Lucas, which I don't even know who Joyner Lucas is. I'm not that much into music. He's a rapper, and I guess he idolized Will Smith. So I'm like going through the different videos, and I kind of see you know, the thumbnail that says Joyner Lucas, Will Smith. And there was another video that by E.T. Canada, entitled on YouTube as well, Will Smith reacts to Joyner Lucas Will. So the name of the song or the rap is Will. And you see, this is like 43 seconds into this video, and basically it's a good video. You know, it's a, you know, music video. And this guy kind of changed his clothes to different characters in the different movies that Will Smith played in, and then he would go to a green screen, which is clever. He would, you know, take a jacket off, take a shirt off. I mean, you watch the video, you know, a good video. But now, when you watch the E.T. Canada video, there's two Edomites talking about the video. And they said that that the video is not even 24 hours old, and it has going on 5 million hits in less than 24 hours, or within 24 hours, and that's what you call a video going viral. So this will be talked about. The video, the cinematography, the creativity of this guy going. You can clearly see he's going to a green screen, and then he changes his outfit, and then you see in the background the movie, you know, which that you can do. That's a basic thing. I mean, you can do that. You can get a green screen, and you can give it that look. Anyway. What shocked me was the numbers of 4,550,000 views inside of 24 hours. Not even 24 hours. Thumbs up 442,000. Thumbs down a little bit more than 4,000. Subscribers over 4 million. 4.18 million subscribers, and I'm pretty sure you got Jake, you know, you got Esau, you got Jake, but a lot of Jake, I guess they keep up with this individual, which I don't know, Joyner Lucas. Anyway, I think about, and this is why I'm putting this video together, I think about all the videos that we put up, and that you may get some brothers put up a video, they might get, in a couple of days, they might get 10,000 hits, which is a lot. They might get 20,000, which is a lot. You got other videos that maybe get 2,000 or 3,000. You got some that get 500, and maybe in a week it'll be 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, maybe 4,000, which to us is a lot. But you're looking at this video right here going on 5 to tomorrow to be over 5 million. I'm pretty sure of that. Anyway, that shows you where Jake's mindset is. Jake really not ready for what's getting ready to come down on them. They really don't know why that this thing, this coronavirus, COVID-19 is taking place. They don't know why the government, the federal government, is going to pass out checks, and Jake is looking for them checks. They're looking to get, but they don't know how the money system works, so they really don't know. They think they're getting something good. I mean, I'm not going to go all into it. That goes into a whole different direction. But Jake doesn't know what's going on, man. And by the way, most these men that put up these videos, you guys that get a lot of hits, the mass majority, about 90% of them, are on there for entertainment purposes only. What I notice, if I put videos up, I might get 1,000, 1,500, sometimes 2,000, sometimes 800, sometimes 600. And when I get like 1,500, 1,400, 1,800 views, the majority, 90% of them are watching a video to get entertained, man. It's just a form of entertainment. Like I said, I put up every month, or I try to do it every month. I put up the new moon video, and I notice that anytime you put up a video on the new moon, it's always low in numbers. You know, in a couple of weeks it might be 300 some odd hits or views. And that just goes to show you that when you do a video, let's say I put up a video and I got an Edomite woman kissing my boot, and you see it in the thumbnail, and I put Edomite woman kisses Apostle Tahar's boot, I guarantee you that's gonna get a whole lot of hits. You know, fight breaks out with Hebrew Israelites versus some KKK members or whatever. That's gonna go viral, because that's what Jake is into. Jake is into they're into drama. You know, they're into entertainment. They like to be entertained. That's the mindset of Jake. And it shows you in this video right here. Not knocking this video, it's a music video, but that shows you where Jake's mindset is. Jake doesn't realize that there's going to be hell. The time of Jacob's trouble. There's going to be a time that you can't compare to any other time on the planet. There's going to be hell out here, but there's going to be certain areas, like all kind of hell is breaking loose around the world over the coronavirus, right? People dying, so forth and so on. But then you got people living normal lives. Now, when 70 AD took place, when the Romans besieged Jerusalem, you had other people living normal lives because the war wasn't against the other nations, and the war wasn't against Flavius Josephus. Flavius Josephus was like a guest of that particular Caesar, which was Vespasian and Titus, and he was allowed to record it because he was a slave. He was a slave under them, and he got a slave name. That name, Flavius Josephus, is the family name of the Flavian dynasty. His real name was Mathathawa, and I believe he was from the tribe of Judah. So they wasn't trying to kill him, and there was certain Jakes that sold out that they wasn't trying to kill. They wasn't trying to destroy those Jakes either. So the same thing is going to happen now. It's going to be like 70 AD. You're going to have Israelites that work with Esau, the powers that be, and they're not going to be touched. And you're going to have others that are against Esau that they're going to come get. We're coming to the worst time in the history of the planet Earth. Jacob's trouble. That's why it says in Daniel, the 12th chapter, the first verse, it speaks about Michael standing up, the chief priest or the chief prince, during the time of Jacob's trouble, and at that time thy people shall be delivered. And the bottom line is Jake is not ready for this, man. Jake is not ready for the mark of the beast being a chip. A lot of these Jakes, what they're talking about is they're going to find a cure for the coronavirus, and it's in the form of a vaccination. And a lot of Jakes will line up to get that vaccination so they don't get coronavirus. Just like a lot of Jakes, you drive through the hood, you see every other Jake with a mask on his face, man, or rubber gloves. And why do they do that? Because they believe what the media have told them. So I already see when they come out with that vaccination, Jake is going to get it because they don't want to suffer the coronavirus. Now I don't know if everything's going to go back to normal, and this is a test run, and then Esau, now it's okay that this test. Pompeo said this was an American experiment in one of these meetings. So the next test, let's say everything goes back to normal for 6 months, or it goes back to normal for a year or a year and a half. The next test, they're going to want everybody to take that, to be eager and willing to take the market, to take the actual chip. Whether there's going to be another pandemic, they're going to do something to deceive you into thinking that this chip, this microchip, which is the mark of the beast, it's a cure. They might say it's a cure for any disease. There might be more viruses out there, and in that chip is we don't know how they're going to present it. The scripture doesn't tell us that. All the scripture tells us is that it tells us about and they shall receive a mark in their right hand on their forehead, and they can't buy or sell unless they have that chip. So whether this is real or whether this is an experiment or whether they're playing on it, could be an actual coronavirus, but it's really not that bad. It's like the flu, but they play on it. The old saying, never let a crisis go to waste. So you play off of that crisis. Yeah, Jake is in a sleep. Jake is talking about them checks they gonna get. Now you had 3.3 million people that applied for unemployment, and then on top of that, they don't have to pay the tax. They don't have to file their taxes until late July, mid-July, and then on top of that, they're gonna get checks. So this is gonna be a good deal for Jake until Esau really, shows his fangs, so to speak. Anyway, what I want to do now is go to, let me bring it up. I want to go to 2nd Ezra's. As soon as it come up, I'll go right to it. The 16th chapter. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but what I want to do is read a couple of verses here and there. I'll start at this 18th verse as soon as it comes up. Yeah, we're in the time of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. We've been speaking about it a lot. In the time of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. The Most High I may do a whole breakdown on it. As soon as it comes up, I'll go into it. Yeah, it's taking a sweet time coming up. I'm gonna start at the 18th verse. I'll start at the 17th verse. Now, you know what? Let me start at the 14th verse. But like I said, you got to read the whole chapter to really get into it. But I'm going to jump around a little bit. Anyway, it says in 2nd Ezra 16 verse 14, behold, the plagues, we're in the midst of a plague right now, the coronavirus, are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. Now this plague, on the news, they're pretty much saying that this is a global pandemic. It said the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. It says in Luke 12, and what will I if it already be kindled? It says 16th verse, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. That arrow is talking about the ICBM missiles. So the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? Because what Ezra saw in the vision was so you couldn't compare it to any time in the history of mankind. There's never been a time where ICBM missiles of this caliber, this magnitude, ever hit anything. So we don't know what we know it's going to do. It's going to bring total death and destruction But there's never been a time that a ICBM missile has ever been shot on a major landmark on the planet, and the devastation it would cause. The only example we can go by is the H bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and that was devastating. These ICBM missiles are far more powerful than the bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and that affected those people in Japan for years. They gave birth to deformed babies. Anyway, it goes on to say in the 18th verse, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, and evils mean bad time. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Now Jake is not going to be ready, because Jake, it show you what this music video that Jake ain't ready, man. Jake's, especially these young Jakes, man, they got their pants hanging off their ass. This is the most, how can I say this? It was the simplest generation out there, man. You could see they got their heads stuck up their asses. They don't know what the fuck is going on, man. The Apostle Ramlab told me a couple of months back that he spoke to his youngest son, and he said, when that chip come, the mark of the beast, the chip come, don't take it. And then he kind of, shook his head like he's with what he was saying. Then he went back and told his mother that Pops is bugging out, because these young boys don't know, man. They're gone. They're fucking gone, man. They're gone. They're fucking gone. We're in a time of weak men. There's a Roman saying, which this guy from Wham, World Alternative Media, always brings up. I've heard him say it a couple of times, and it plays in my mind here and there, and it's a cycle. It's a strong men make or create good times. Good times create weak men. Like you deal with like a guy that's a boxer, right? How often do you see a boxer, like let's deal with Muhammad Ali, let's deal with George Foreman. Muhammad Ali, I know he had at least one son. I think he had a couple of sons. I saw an interview with one of his sons, and he was like a regular guy, wasn't no boxer. Sugar Ray Leonard, his sons never became boxers. They went to college and they get educated and so forth. George Foreman's sons never really got into boxing. Now you got Evander Holyfield's son. He's a boxer, but he was in the martial arts. You can see it in his eyes. I'd be surprised if he doesn't become a world champion, because he's very dedicated. Floyd Mayweather, he got into it because of his father and his uncles, but they were poor. They were poor. They were in hard times. So out of that hard time, that's where Floyd came and became great. Now his sons are not going to become. They ain't thinking about boxing. But why? Because they're experiencing good times. So they're weak men. When I say weak, they everything is given to them, and that's a bad thing. You should always experience struggle. Like these Edomites that become multi-millionaires. You know what these devils do? They go live out in the fucking mountains, man. Excuse my French. They climb the mountains. You know, they do hard things. Oh, this guy, what's this guy? David Rothschild. The young son that looked like Caesar Borgia, because he is Caesar Borgia. This guy be going out in the woods for months. So he lives that hard life. And if you roll up on him, he'll break your fucking neck. These Edomites, a lot of them, they live hard lives, even though they're multi-billionaires, man. They might run marathons. They might skydive, climb up mountains, live up in the damn woods, you know, for a month or so, to keep them centered, man. So let's go back to that Roman saying. Hard times create or make strong men. Strong men make good times because they bring everything back in order. When there's a revolution, the weak men, they don't engage in revolutions because they're weak. They get tired of a corrupt ruler, and then they just get into that and that's why when Jake go to prison, they get into a mindset of, if a nigga does something to me, I'm a twist his neck. The couple of times I had to, was in the system, I had to get in the mindset, if a nigga does something, I'm biting his eyeball out. That's the mindset. You gotta become beastly. You gotta get in that beastly mode. Anyway, hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. That's why if you're like a great, you played in the NFL and you're a great player, and then you have a son, he gets drafted, but he's not as great as his father because his father came from hard times. You came from good times, man. You're weaker than your father. Going back to the era of Jack Johnson and the Manasseh Mauler. What's his name? The Manasseh Mauler, Jack Dempsey. Jack Dempsey came up because of the Depression. He said, I'll let somebody hit me with a sledgehammer in the face for $5. So they were hard, they were strong, hard, because they came from hard times. Hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times because they don't do nothing. They're not rugged. Wars keep you rugged. Hardship keeps you rugged. So I said, weak men, strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. Hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times because they're lazy. And so if you're a weak man, your son or your son's son or your son's son's son will become a strong man. So we're in a time now where we're in that cycle of weak men. A lot of these kids are mama boys. These Jakes, these hard Jakes in the street. A lot of them is mama boys, and a lot of them go to the system and they get flipped. They get tossed because they don't go. They're not hard. And the ones that toss them are the hard ones. They don't give a shit. You know, you got rough moles out there. Hey, like I said, this video right here, everybody flock to this video. Nobody's really listening to the videos that we put up and we break things down. Because they don't see nothing coming. They're entertained by it. Like the elder Manataz Akbar, he was doing a video and he was saying how certain kids be watching his videos. These videos are not for kids, man. These videos are not for kids. They're watching it because their parents watch it and the kids watch it and they get entertained. That's all the reason why. And those people are getting entertained, man. A lot of these jakes come into this truth because it's something to do. And if they felt that they were done wrong, then they leave, and then you know what they do? They run back to Christianity and talk shit about the Israelite thing. That's why we don't be letting everybody goddamn in, man. Anyway, we're in a time of weak men. Man, I was in BJ's and it was these jakes, and all them jakes were fucking morbidly obese. They had tipped to the side. They had their pants rolled up, or not rolled up. They had their pants hanging off their ass, and they were fucking morbidly obese, man. I mean, every nigga I seen up in there mostly, man. You know, there was a time where Jake was in shape. They would do the push-ups and shit. You know, Jake just fat, big and fucking fat, man. I mean, mega fat, uber fat, big, morbidly big, double, triple chin to having motherfuckers, big fat stomachs, big man breasts, fat all coming out the back. There's a band called the Fat Back Band. Them are weak niggas, man. You know, I remember years ago I was a little wild. I used to get out into a lot of street fights, and most niggas, they only good for like 30 seconds. Most Jake, not all of them, but a lot of them is good for 30 seconds. You let them swing for 30 seconds, they dead tired, man. That's why you got to keep your wind up. You know, you got to be ready to scuffle, man. And that's why, and you know, at one time you would outrun cops, and not no more. Cops be outrunning Jake left and right because Jake is out of shape, man. Jake, this is the you know, this is the weak time. This is the time, man. But this hardship is gonna make you hard. It's gonna change your mentality, man. You sitting back, you know, a lot of you niggas, you live off your baby mama's food stamps and your baby's WIC. Niggas might sell, you know, they might sell a little weed or something, however they call it, and then they just on the corner talking shit. I can show you that time and time again, brother. Jake be on the corner talking shit, and a lot of them motherfuckers are fucking fat. Esau, he trying to play that role of the strong man, man. You know, Esau, now they got the bare knuckle fighting, and you know who's winning them damn championships? Edomites, because Edomites got that roar in them, man. Anyway, let me read on. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mourning. So is this thing going to go back to normal? Is this an American experiment that, as Pompeo, what he's the Secretary of State, as he said, the Secretary of State is basically right behind the Vice President, so he's right up in there. It's at the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. At the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Well, if you know you're an Israelite and you know you're a man of the Lord, or you believe you're a man of the Lord, and you've been doing this work, you should know, based upon the scriptures, what's going to happen. And this don't worry about nothing. Just deal with it. Just deal with it, because this has to happen. This has to happen before the Most High come and Yahweh Shai and the angels come and deliver us. There has to be a time of Jacob's trouble. It said, behold, famine and plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. You know, this shortage of food and so forth. Jake, when shit go back to normal, Jake is gonna go back to normal. Because Jake doesn't know the future. We know the future. We're telling you the future. It is beginning to get long. Well, that's the spirit. It says, behold, victuals shall be good, so good cheap upon the earth. Now, if you notice, if you have a car or a truck or whatever, a Jeep, you notice the gas prices have been going down dramatically, man. Today I went to one particular station. It was $2.29, and about maybe half a mile to the next gas station was $2.39. Where you think I went to? I said, let me save 10 cents a gallon, because it's a mental thing. So the same thing with foods. Foods are going to start going down, but then they're going to start going up. And Esau's manipulating the marketplace, with the food, with the you getting these checks. And Jake, they're gonna be making videos about how they got their first check and what they're gonna do with the check. A lot of niggas is gonna go out and buy Jordans. It says they're not gonna buy things for their house. They're not gonna stock up on rice and beans and provisions. They're just gonna go, like I said, Jake, we in a time of weak men. It said, behold, victuals shall be good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Oh, times are back to normal, everything's good. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And the proof is this video right here. Almost 5 million hits in less than 24 hours. That's what you call viral. And then that proves that we're Israelites. We're the salt of the earth. It said for many. I was watching this dude. What's his name? Is it LaMelo Ball? The Ball family. They said this guy's like the next first pick, and I was watching some highlights, and this dude was doing some gravity defying shit. And I said, that's Jake. I said, we're the salt of the earth. physically, spiritually, emotionally. We make things happen. We bring it on the higher level. We do things that Esau can't do. Esau can only take it so far. We take it to the next level. Remember, Esau, the basketball, whatever, back then, I don't know if they called it the NBA or whatever they called it, but back in the 50s and the 60s, they were nothing but Edomites. You know when basketball became live? When Jake took over. Jake just took over, man. They just took over. Because we're on a higher level than they are. Physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. What does the word famine mean? You're going to starve to death. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. You're going to get shot. You're going to get beat up. You're going to be ran over. The cops are going to get you. The military going to get you. You're going to die in concentration camps. It said, in the dead and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the ground and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. So you're going to be, recently, within the last week and a half, I'll drive down any highway during so-called rush hour, and there's no traffic. No traffic. I get to destinations quick now. What took me half an hour, 40 minutes, it take me like 20 minutes. So that no one shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of a field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the cliffs of the rocks. There ain't gonna be nothing else out here for you. You go up into the mountains. '29 verse. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. In other words, you're going to seek for grapes, and you have to really look to find a grape over here, a little grape over there. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. There's a video I put up in was it LA County, that the sheriff was going to close down the gun stores, the gun shops, but then he changed his mind and said, let them open. And you got a lot of Edomites, some Jakes, but you got a lot of Edomites going buying their guns. Why? Because that's their blessing. The Most High is not their blessing. Their blessing is the sword. The modern day sword is the gun. Esau knows something's getting ready to happen. Jake don't know what the hell is going on. Even if you tell they blackhead asses. There's a thing called preppers. You got these Edomites, they make videos on it, man. How they got food stored. '32nd verse. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. The virgin shall mourn, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Because a woman can't make it on their own, man. She had to get a pimp. She couldn't make it on her own. That said a lot. She had to get a pimp. She couldn't make it on her own. Don't push me to the edge. And this is before the kingdom comes, mind you. And what's going to be fulfilled? Isaiah 4. 7 women shall take hold of one man. And they're going to take hold of a strong man, not a cute man. Oh, he's so cute. No, you're going to get with the strong man. The days of the pretty boy are numbered. Jake, a car breakdown, Jake don't know what the fuck to do, man. They don't know if it's the battery, the disc, the alter. They have no idea what's going on, man. Jake is just, they got their heads stuck up their asses, man. And this video right here proves it. It said in the wars, because it's going to be more than one war, shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. They're going to starve to death. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Yahweh. This is the servants, mean the elect. This truth is for the elect, man. We're not here to entertain you. Our job is to push this word out so that the Most High can initiate the minds of the elect. This is only for the elect. This is not for kids. Behold the word of the Lord. Behold the word of the Lord. Receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So, and other scriptures speak on that. This is going to be like labor pains of a woman. In one part of the earth, everything's going to be all right, but then another part of the earth is going to be hell. Like this whole coronavirus started in Wuhan, China. They're not even talking about Wuhan, China, because somehow it jumped to the other side of the world and most of the planet. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth and the world. And once this thing is over, there's going to be another plague. There's going to be something else. There's going to be a war. You're going to see some UFO sightings, and you won't know. You're going to bug out because you don't know how to. You can't reason in your mind what's going on. We can reason in our mind. I read the scripture the other day on Isaiah 33 verse 6. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. So when we see these things, oh, yep, that's in this book, that's in Revelation, that's in the book of Daniel, that's the fulfillment of this. And sorrow shall come upon it on every side. O my people, which are the Israelites, hear my word, make you ready to the battle. What battle is this? A spiritual battle. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Because the government is not going to help you. He that selleth, let him be as though, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. You got these people that are preppers, but then you got people that have nothing that's going to kick your door in and they're going to take what you got. Hence, that's why Edomites are going to them gun stores. They're going to them gun stores for Jake, man. They're saying this shit, I don't know, the food might run out, and they're in their mind, they're saying these niggas they're going to be out there, brother. As soon as they see you niggas, they're gonna go to blasting, man. And that happened when Katrina took place. There was a bunch of Jake that tried to go in this neighborhood over a bridge where most of the Edomites were, and they met them with rifles and guns. They said, man, get the fuck back over the bridge. Ain't no, and all that Christian shit, that Edomite Christian shit, you know, love thy neighbor, that's gonna go right out the window, man. That's gonna go though. It said, he that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. Cause you, hey, in that time, you're gonna build a nice house, you're gonna go out with your family, you're gonna come back, and you're gonna have raccoons up in there. And two kinds of raccoons. You're gonna have raccoons up in there, man. It said he that soweth as if he should not reap, so also. And I said this in my previous video in GMS in Transit, the recent one that I just did, dated 3/26/2020 year prophecy. I said you got those, and the Most High is beautiful, man. The Most High is beautiful. You go down to Harlem, you got Jacob in there, but then you got Esau all up in there. Those well-to-do Edomites that got money. They're living right. You got Jake living one block, then you got the Edomite living down the block. What do you think Jake is going to do when they run out of shit? What does Gerald Celente always say? He said, when people have nothing else to lose, they lose it. So Jake is going to lose it. They're going to bang your doors in, and they're gonna take your shit. Cause Jake can get aggressive when they want to. He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widows, and therefore they that labor in vain. The strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captive. You're going to see a lot of kidnapping. And these super rich, they're leaving the country, man. They're in certain gated community with security guards and police. Because they know Jake is going to lose it. And they're going to be kidnapping little Edomite babies. For in captivity and famine shall they get children, and they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith Yahweh. Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, which you hardly ever see, because they're all hoes. So shall righteousness hate iniquity. When she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face, when he cometh, that shall defend him that diligently searches out every sin upon the earth. And therefore be ye not like unto her, nor to the works thereof. For yet a little, and iniquity shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign among you. That's the kingdom of heaven. Because Esau has not shown the world righteousness. He showed the world confusion. That's all this devil did. He taught the world confusion. He said, if you feel, let's deal with this fucking clown, Dwayne Wade. You know, he with his son chopping his penis off and becoming an actual woman, and he calls his son his daughter. Oh, that's my daughter. Him and Gabrielle Union, they're gonna take that chip, and they're gonna get clipped. 53rd verse. Let not the sinner say that he have not sinned, for the Most High shall burn coals of fire upon his head, which saith before the Lord and his glory, I have not sinned. Behold, the Lord knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts, which speak but the word, let the earth be made, and it was made. Let the heaven be made, and it was created. And his words were the stars made, and he knoweth not the number of them. Well, he compared the children of Israel to the stars of heaven, which cannot be numbered. He searches the deep and the treasures thereof. He hath measured the sea and what it containeth. And Esau haven't figured out what's in the sea. There's creatures down there that Esau never encountered. He hath shut the sea in the midst of the waters, and with his word hath he hanged the earth upon the waters. Have he hanged the earth upon the waters? He spreadeth out the heavens like a vault. Upon the waters have he founded it. And the desert hath he made springs of water and pools upon the tops of the mountains, that the floods might pour down from the high rocks to water the earth. So the Most High put everything in order. Jump down to the 66th verse. What will ye do, or how will ye hide your sins before the Most High and his angels? Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him, leave off from your sins, and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. He going to deliver us from Jacob's trouble. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection. You look up that word insurrection. It means the people coming up against the ruling bodies, upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as a gold in the fire. That's Jacob's trouble. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. So you're going to tell me there's no Jacob's trouble? There's going to be trouble for Jacob. It said ye shall not eat, but ye shall eat. Let me go to that, so I can read it verbatim. As soon as it come up, I'll bring it. I'll read it. You got a lot of Jakes that are coming on my comment board. I'm pretty sure other brothers, about how they heard the truth. They've been watching the videos, but now they want to get into action. What am I supposed to do? What camp? Because now they see these things are actually happening. Jake is beginning to wake up. And this truth is really not for women. You're going to have women that do believe, but this is only for the elect. We're living in some serious times, and it's going to get worse. Okay, it says here, Isaiah 65:11. I might go up a verse or two above that, but let's go here. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare the table for that troop, and that furnish a drink offering unto that number. These are the ones that bucked up, the scoffers, the people that don't believe that they're Israelite, the Kemetic people, the Morris people, the Jakes that are into Islam, the Jakes that are Baptists and Methodists. Most I ain't dealing with y'all. He's gonna destroy y'all. It said, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, how the Most I called, he called to us. Ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore thus saith the Most High, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So during that time of Jacob's trouble, we're going to be preserved some kind of way. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. Meaning, I'm not an Israelite. You had Jakes. No, I'm not an Israelite. I'm an African. I'm a Moor. For the Lord power shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name. Because at one time we were called Negroes, blacks, colored. So that another name is that new name, that refreshed name. That he who blesses himself in the earth shall bless himself in the Most High of truth, and he that sweareth in the earth shall swear by the Most High of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, and because they are hid from my eyes. Then as you read down, it speaks about the New Jerusalem, and that's in Revelation, the 21st chapter. And then you ones that don't make it, you're going to come back through the ones that actually make it. Start with the 144,000. '74th verse. We're back in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Hear, O my beloved, saith the Most High, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, and Jacob's trouble, but I will deliver you from the same. Let's go to Daniel real quick. Daniel 12. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, which are the Israelites, no other nation, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, we're in that time now, thy people, which are the elect, shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Now when you read about being written in the book of life, that's only for the elect, the 1/3, if you will. 75th verse. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. So when these things happen, the Most High is going to guide us. And the guide of them that who keep my commandments and precepts are the scriptures, saith the Lord of the Most High, let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covereth with thorns, that no man may travel through. It is left undressed, and is cast into the fire, the nuclear fire, to be consumed therewith. Now the Apostle Paul said, the thing that I do, that I do not, and the thing that I don't want to do, that I do, is not me that doeth that, but sin that dwelleth in me. So he thanks the Father that he called himself a wretched man, and he thanks the Lord that he has a Savior, Yahweh Shai. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, and it's on to the next one. And, keep your eyes open, because this thing might calm down, or it might keep going. The Most High might take this place out in this year, or he could take it out in the beginning of the next year, but we don't know. But we know this thing is close, and this thing that's happening now on the planet, especially in the United States, you can't compare this to any time, man. And things are going to get worse. Things may seem to get better, but things are going to get worse. This is the complete downfall of Esau's world. Remember, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, and it's on to the next one. Shalom.